What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Across the Pond, where two American boys talk about the worldwide world of soccer/football. I am the host, Richard Rodillo, joined by the man with the noggin, Jacob Bullard. How you doing,
What's
Jacob?
up? I'm good.
Good?
I'm still recovering. I'm still in a mild food coma.
Yes. For you European people that for some reason listen to our stuff on SoundCloud, Thanksgiving is an American holiday. Obviously, you probably know that, and that's where just America just gets even fatter than what it already was. And yes, we are still recovering. I'm having a coffee at almost 1 o'clock.
You drink coffee all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're a monster.
I am. Anyways, if you didn't know what Across the Pond is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your first time, it's where, like I said, two American boys and Florida. Oh my goodness. Where two American boys talk about the worldwide world of soccer/football. It's the American take on the European game. Yeah.
That's a new phrase that you added this time. That I just wasn't listening.
Well, it's for new people to kind of like, oh my god, wow, this sounds so amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, we are going to review match day. I think it was 13.
Yeah, I wrote 13. Let's hope it's 13. Yeah, it was 13.
Match day 13 for the Premier League. Unfortunately, there weren't really any big European games last time we did this.
I think we just skipped the Barca Athletic game, actually.
Did we?
Yeah. When we were previewing it last week.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
it was Barca. Words. Barca Athletic.
Maybe we did, actually. Because it said Master's going to get a hat trick. And you got a hat trick, right?
No, it was
Okay.
1-1.
Regardless, and then we also preview the next week for Premier League and then bigger games around Europe. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's get into it. The first game of last week, I believe, was Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. That was the first game on my list for this.
That's because you have Manchester United favorited.
Is it what?
Yeah, if on days that City play, City's at the top of my list.
Oh, well, we're still going to do we'll just do United, Crystal Palace first. Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. It was a 0-0 draw. Basically, Crystal Palace won this game. 60% possession to 40% possession. Manchester United controlled the ball more, obviously. 12 shots with 5 on target for Man United. 13 shots with 2 on goal for Crystal Palace. Let me take a deep breath real quick.
Wake me up when you're done talking about this game.
Oh, my goodness. Just a flat United performance, unfortunately. What I've noticed and throughout the year is playing the ball back and the opportunity to lose the ball from coming out of the back, and that happened several times against this team. Another thing I was really surprised about is that everyone knows what Crystal Palace is all about and what they do, and I was like, yo, it's counterattack, dog. Like, what are you doing? What's going on here, man? And Wilfried Zaha almost scored twice, even though there weren't the most threatening opportunities, but they were threatening for a player like him, or he almost actually gotten into the back of the net. At the moment, I'm afraid. I found out about the lineup for the young boys today is Smalling and Jones. I think Lindelof is going to be out for a while, apparently.
Yikes!
Yeah,
he's been, I'd say, probably your guys' best center back this year.
Yeah, most consistent. I mean, he's had some hiccups, but a guy that's definitely have shown a lot of improvement from last year, and his improvement has been showing. I'm kind of excited for Jones to be starting again, because I think him and Bailly are probably our best pair.
Okay.
But Smalling, I don't know. It's just he's so shaky. But regardless, yeah. I think Palace should have probably won this game in my eyes, even though we had chances, a couple of chances with Lukaku. Lingard kind of had a little deflection or a redirect that didn't get in the back of the net, and then Martial should have headed it off of that rebound. But unfortunately, I forgot, it was Hennessy that saved it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, we knew what Palace is all about. I think this is Palace's best performance. I mean, since I've seen them in person, I guess, or seen them live.
Watch the game, yeah.
Since the Liverpool game, definitely. Even though they lost that game, but it was still a great performance by them. Another great performance tonight, and they did what they had to do, or had to do in a way. Even though I probably think thought they should have walked away with the 3 points, but yeah.
I think that Jose Mourinho for me made some questionable decisions in this game, just like substitution wise. Like taking off Pogba, Pogba and Lingard coming off instead of taking off Lukaku. I don't know. Maybe he thought they were gonna like nick a header, like leaving Lukaku in would help them like nick a header or something.
Yeah, I mean
like
that's
Lukaku is basically like a traffic cone.
Yeah, that's our. I
game.
mean, that's our. What do you call it? Not end game, but more of a desperate game, I guess, where we have to do that, and it's somewhat effective. But I mean, if you watch Fix United, I get rid of Fellaini, and then my new Fellaini is Lukaku that comes off the bench for that kind of stuff. So, but regardless,
I think I saw a stat that Lukaku hasn't scored at home for like 8 months.
That makes sense.
It's like since like February or March or something like that. In the league, I think maybe like he did in like a cup game or something, but I think it's like in the league he hasn't scored at home for like 8 months, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing teams like Crystal Palace and stuff like that. Like you're not getting any goals from your center forward.
Or our leading center forward that should be putting away
Right,
goals like that. Even though, I mean, he scored 20 goals last year, or 20 plus. I think it's 21 or 22 for us, but I think he should be scoring 20 of those in just the league alone, and then plus after, change.
I don't know at this point if I'm surprised anymore. Like I don't know if I should feel surprised that like this was the result. Just the way you guys have been playing, and then Mourinho after the game basically attacking a bunch of people's character, like
the whole team's character, honestly.
About like they don't have like you need brain. He went on this whole thing about like you needing like brains and heart or whatever, and saying that like his players lack heart to play football.
Yeah, I don't.
It kind of seems like what this feels like is his last season at Chelsea. That's what this feels like right now.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising because it's his third year at like any club, and he basically never makes it past the third year.
Yeah, I mean, there's been like weird statistics of like Martial improving under him rather than Van Gaal, but I don't know. Like, I mean, he makes Martial more of a defensive player, like he did with Willian back at Chelsea. But still, there's players being wasted. There's players that should be gone by now, and like when you see Ashley Young, you see Chris Smalling, and then you see these guys get like they're probably gonna get contract extensions. It's like, why? And it's another thing to watch this United. You're just like I'm kind of just like numb to it now. I'm just like, well, this is another Saturday. I guess there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing that you can really I can do. Just cheer my team on and hopefully hope for the best. I mean, like I said, I've never wanted Mourinho in the first place, so that's a fact.
I want you to have Mourinho for the rest of his career.
That will never happen.
Hope it does. Give him that lifetime contract. It'll fix everything.
No, I'm good. Let's keep moving, young man. We got Everton versus Cardiff City. Everton won 1-0 with a goal from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Everton had 71% possession to Cardiff's 29, 16 shots with 8 on target for Everton, with 7 with 1 on target for Cardiff. Poor little Cardiff there. Jeez. Game that had very little chances in general, it looked like, I guess. I actually had to watch the extended highlights to like witness how boring this game was in a way. It was actually almost as boring as the United game that had no goals. But yeah, the Sigurdsson or Gylfi Sigurdsson. I have to say his first name. Jeez. Like I told you earlier before we started recording, I was like, right place, right time, continuing this good form. This is the kind of win that Everton needs in general. Just regardless if it's 1-0 or 5-0, they need guys to perform, just to stay above the water, I guess, in a way. And above water means like top 6, I guess, or top 8. If they want to get into that Europa League spot or possibly a Champions League spot,
I think that like a good season for them is like a good decent chance at a Europa League spot.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll get there this year, but
yeah, I mean, there's still time, and there's still time for other teams to fall apart as well. But yeah, this is a win that
I guess they're on 6th right now, so.
To keep them afloat in a way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I guess so they don't have this like kind of hiccup doesn't slow them down or prevent them from getting into one of those spots.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good result for Everton. Not necessarily their best performance, even though they did like completely dominate possession wise and like as far as chance creation. Yeah, it was just solid overall. They were pretty balanced. I feel like they're really starting to. They were very shaky in the first like 4 to 6 weeks of the season, and then I don't think they've lost a game. And they've been, except for the United game, I think they've been unbeaten like for the last like almost 2 months at this point.
Yeah, the only like weird thing in this game too was like the Seamus Coleman challenge, I believe.
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I wrote in my notes, I think. Yeah, questionable tackle by Seamus Coleman.
Okay.
That's a real. It was at the tail end of the game. You can if the replay, the ref, it would have been a hard angle for the ref, I guess, but they didn't call a penalty on him. But maybe they should have, maybe they shouldn't, I guess.
Yeah. And then for Cardiff, it's kind of just been more of the same. They did score. They put 4 on Fulham before the international break. But kind of back to their more typical lackluster performances in front of goal. They only had generated 1 shot on target against Everton, who don't necessarily have like the greatest defense.
Yeah. Well, I think when they play like the bottom like 6 or 4, they have something to offer in an attack. But once they play the team that are above that threshold, they don't really offer anything at all. Unfortunately, they don't really have like a Glenn Murray either, in a way, I guess. So that's kind of like been lethal this year that we're gonna get to in the next game. But yeah, I wasn't expecting them to win this game. I think I even picked Everton. So
I'd be curious to see, like we were talking, obviously the United game earlier before this. I'm curious to see, or I would be curious to see what Everton would look like if they still had Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, that too.
Like, was that what
Well,
did they get for him? Like 65 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That, like,
they
was it
wouldn't have
worth
gotten the players that they got out of him because they got Gylfi Sigurdsson, Clausen, right?
Yeah, but he's already gone.
He's already gone, and then there was someone else that they brought in after.
Yeah,
I'm not remember. Ashley Williams.
Maybe.
But he's already moved on to Stoke too.
Yeah, he has.
Because they don't really have like
You're right. They wouldn't have Sigurdsson, or at least they were less likely to have Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
Which would be big for them, I guess. But yeah.
He's a good number 10. I don't have a problem with him.
Oh yeah, Gylfi Sigurdsson's great.
I wish I had a player like that on United right now. Right place, right time. Let's keep moving. Brighton versus Leicester City. We got a 1-1 draw with a goal in the 15th minute by good old Glenn Murray, son. Woo! Good on you, Glenn Murray. Then there was there was actually a red card from a diving young man, James Maddison, in the 28th minute, and then a Jamie Vardy penalty in the 79th minute. Brighton possessed the ball 55% of the time with 14 shots and 3 on target, and then Leicester possessed the ball 45% of the time with 8 shots with 3 on goal. I wrote in my notes, Brighton should have won this game.
I agree.
In my eyes. And hopefully this sparks Glenn Murray scoring more goals maybe. I'm just excited to watch him just nick goals like he did in this game. And then somewhat of not that I'm going to say the Madison dive was a dive, like a complete dive, but he definitely tried to sell something there. But he did get stepped on at the end of it, so I was like,
Let me interject there. 100% a dive from James Maddison.
Well, anyways. And then a terrible challenge on, I forgot who it was, to get Leicester the penalty, and then Jamie Vardy converted it. Just a penalty.
Kazaki?
No.
I don't remember.
I want to say it was Jamie Vardy, actually. They got fouled, but I probably wasn't.
I don't remember. But yeah.
But regardless.
Good penalty from Vardy.
Yeah, good penalty.
He came on as a sub, too. He didn't start this game. Yeah.
Which he's having some leg injuries or quad or calf injuries or something like that, or quad or some weird leg injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a terrible challenge. He came in way too late. Gave up basically the 3 points that they were going to win, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought this was a really good Brighton performance up until that last. There was another questionable challenge as well, I think, but earlier in the game as well, that it didn't get the penalty, but that one was just like, okay, this dude, bro, come on.
Yeah, I was
Kind of threw the game for him.
I guess for me, I was really happy to see James Madison sent off because I think that the second yellow coming from a diving incident is something that I can't honestly remember the last time I saw that. Someone getting sent off, like the second yellow being for diving. And that's something that like I hope gets eradicated from the game. So I was happy to see that it like the letter of the law was actually enforced here.
Yeah, in his first game back too, from injury.
Oh, okay.
Now he's gonna go back.
He's gonna miss another one, yeah.
Yeah, this is like.
But yeah, I definitely, like you said in the beginning, I think that Brighton should have won this game. Leicester have been struggling. This is their second straight draw. After they nicked a 1-0 a few weeks ago now. I forget who it was. It was like the game right after their owner died.
Yeah.
They nicked that 1-0 win. So Leicester struggling a little bit at the moment. Brighton just need to keep racking up points to help them guarantee safety.
Yeah. Leicester just needs to offer more in attacking when it's only this past week was only a goal on a penalty, but I think Vardy had like a whiff on one of the at the end there too before that. When Jamie Vardy's the only guy like kind of scoring goals. It's like, oh, yo, Nacho, bro, can we get some love?
They actually haven't, I guess a little bit in Leicester's defense over the course of the whole year. I can't think of too many times where they actually had like everyone there in the attack, or it's like Vardy and Madison and Iheanacho and like all of them, like because like Vardy was suspended for 3 games, and then like Vardy's had a bunch of injuries and like he missed a week I think with illness once.
Madison's been hurt, and then
Madison's
obviously
been
he's gonna
hurt,
be gone.
and now the red card. So like they've been really inconsistent as far as like who's starting up top. So
Yeah.
maybe if they could get a run of games where they have like the same group of people.
Yeah, just don't dive.
Yeah, don't dive.
If anything, he learned from the master of divers, Jimmy Vardy.
Sure.
Okay, never mind.
Why is Jimmy Vardy the master of divers?
You didn't watch the United game, never mind. A couple years ago.
I mean, I don't know that I remember it off the top of my head.
It was
Does
pretty
Jamie
bad.
Vardy regularly dive? No.
You'd be surprised. Just look up like highlights of Jamie Vardy diving.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, let's
Master
keep moving.
of diving is Arjen Robben.
Watford versus Liverpool. Liverpool won 3-0 with a goal opened up in the 67th minute by Mohamed Salah. Then another goal off of a brilliant free kick by Trent Alexander-Arnold in the 76th minute. Then a red card to Jordan Henderson in the 82nd. And then Firmino topping it off with the cherry in the 89th minute. Watford possessed the ball 36% of the time with 5 shots with 1 on target. Liverpool with 64% in the possession with 8 shots with 7 on goal. Great, actually, pressure in the beginning. I watched this game like off and on while I was just doing stuff in my room. I just had it on in the background. But decent pressure by Watford, actually, in the beginning of the game.
I thought they had a good first half.
Yeah. And then even the questionable challenge from Robinson on Hughes, which could have been penalty. I mean, is it technically where the ball is or where the player's position is?
It's where the player is positioned.
Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't have been should have been a penalty then.
Yeah.
But then regardless, after that, it was kind of downhill because Salah had the great finish. At the end or at the beginning ish, or right after the beginning of the first half or second half, and then Arnold's free kick right after that, and then Foster had a great save. I think it was off of a Mane shot, and then Firmino was just like right there. It's like there's nothing you could have done, but at least you tried.
Yeah.
But I mean, a decent, if they would have kept up the same momentum and pressure that Watford had in the beginning in the second half, they probably would have had a chance. But it was an interesting matchup just because of how Watford like lined up.
Yeah.
Versus all the teams, and then going against a Liverpool team like this, but it seemed like it didn't work.
Yeah, like I said, I think Watford had a really good first half. I think they kind of just ran out of gas, like midway through the second half, and then once that dam broke, then like it was kind of over. Like it kind of snowballed.
Yeah, because you can't be chasing the ball a game like that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it kind of snowballed out of control from that point on. I was watching. This game was on at the same time as the City game, so I was watching the City game. But like they had the scores from the rest of the game scrolling in the corner, and I was like checking every time it came around. I was like, oh, it's still 0-0. I got like halftime. It's like still 0-0. I'm like, all right, maybe we can get Liverpool to drop some points here, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah.
Liverpool eventually broke through. I mean, the scoreline was deserved with the amount of pressure, especially in the second half that they were applying to Watford. But I still don't feel like Liverpool have not hit their stride yet. Even with a 3-0 win here, like the majority of their chances came in the second half. But they had a pretty dull first half. And I mean, and credit to Watford for like playing them the way that they did. But we have yet to see. I don't think we've yet seen the Liverpool that we saw at all last season.
Yeah, I think it's also like Spurs that kind of just been static, but they're where they are.
But they're getting results.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But so like where they are is actually good to be static at, I guess. But yeah, we definitely haven't seen the spikes. I mean, this past weekend. Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about Spurs after this, or eventually. But yeah, kind of like that same kind of idea of, I guess, that parallel. I guess to that.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving.
Yep.
We got the slaughter of the week. We got West Ham United versus Manchester City.
Bum, 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 bum.
Manchester City won 4-0 with the goals being opened up in the 11th minute by David Silva. Then a goal by Raheem the Dream Sterling in the 19th minute. And then 2 goals from Leroy Sané in the 34th and 93rd minute. West Ham possessed the ball 31% of the time to Manchester City's 69%.
Got him.
9 shots with 1 on target for West Ham. 9 shots with 6 on goal for City. Actually, not as many shots as I thought it were. Oh, just a complete, literally, just slaughter, but also impossible to defend. Like when almost all 4 of your goals are like literally all your like signature way of scoring for City in a way for me. Like what I've noticed.
Winger in behind,
Yeah.
square across the box.
Yeah, and it's not that like, oh, it's so simple to like, why don't you just defend across? It's not just on the way you have to defend both the crosser and shooter.
It's not even like most of our goals don't even come through the middle at all. Like it's like Sané or Sterling or Mahrez or like whoever's playing on the wing gets in behind and then normally squares to the other So it's like say like West Ham playing a back four. It's like we go around and like across the whole, like we're not going through the back four.
Yeah, and it's just devastating, honestly. And it's like weird to see like, why can't anyone prevent like this from happening? But you can see why. It's just when you control the game that much and you're just doing it several times through the course of a game, and all you need is that one chance, but you do it so many times you have so many chances. And like the timing is so perfect. And then when you can also get goals from like a Aguero kind of goal or a Gabriel Jesus goal from like the middle, where it's just unbelievable, where he just beats a guy and just shoots it, and you're like, says like, yeah, F it, I'm just gonna shoot, and then he scores. It's like so devastating to like watch. And West Ham had no answers to any of these goals. I don't think they even had a chance.
I don't know that I agree with that.
What?
Well, like I know that they had just the one shot on target, but like I think West Ham should have scored at least twice in this game. And I like 4-0 obviously looks like a great result for City, but I actually think that this wasn't a good performance.
Well, I mean, for me, if they give the 2 goals, it still would have been West Ham still would have had enough to beat them.
But it's still like we've been getting results like this over the last few weeks. Without giving up the number of chances that we gave up to West Ham. Like West Ham, it probably should have been like 3-2 at halftime.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was. We were just like at least this season, we were uncharacteristically open. I think our defense has been a lot better this year than it was like the last 2 years with Guardiola, and this particular game, it was just they were very shaky at the back. So that was a little bit concerning to see that. Obviously, the offense is up and running as it has been all year, and this is still like without Kevin De Bruyne.
Honestly, if West Ham would have scored 2 goals, I felt like City probably would have got another 2. Just as like, no, we're gonna
just to spite them.
Yeah,
like, no,
no,
you will not score.
Yeah, we're gonna have a full goal defense on this.
But I think we've always had a relative, not always, but like in the recent history, we've had a pretty good run of results against West Ham. I think we've played them 4 times at the London Stadium, and the goal difference is 17-1. So like West Ham's never really been a problem.
Well, West Ham's not that good, so.
I mean, that's true. It is. But on the West Ham side, the standout for me was actually Zabaleta, a former City player.
I don't know, I think it was the first goal that they gave up. He was just like not even.
Well, he's up against. First off, he's like a 35-year-old dude up against.
Well, I understand that, but still.
But like in this game,
that kind of tarnishes
he had
his
a whole
performance.
bunch. Like he had like 12 interceptions or something like that. Interceptions in this game. Like he was busy keeping. Like we could have had if not for him, it could have been way worse for West Ham. So like I think he actually had a pretty good game.
So a shout to Zabaleta then.
Yeah. My man.
My man. All right, let's keep moving. Fulham versus Southampton, a shootout. Good old Cowboy shootout here. Fulham won 3-2 with goals opening up by Stuart Armstrong in the 18th and 53rd minute. But they were outmatched by Alexander Mitrovic in the 33rd and 63rd. 66. I was going to say 66th. I don't know why. 63rd minute. And then also Andre Schürrle scoring a goal in the 43rd minute. 30% possession to Fulham, with Southampton possessing the ball 63% of the time. 8 shots with 5 on target for Fulham. 19 shots with 8 on goal for Southampton. This is the Fulham I've been waiting for. But maybe that's probably because Ranieri is there now. Kind of a smart move in the international break for bringing him in.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of these guys got called up, regardless, that I know of. Siri and Mitrovic are probably the only guys I thought in my head that probably got called up. We didn't call up Tim Ream, so.
Right.
Yeah, this is the Fulham I've been waiting for, dog. Like scoring goals, but also letting in goals at the same time. But those 2 Armstrong goals are kind of, those are kind of hard to defend in a way. Those are just going to go in just on the way he did. Very impressive, the second goal. But yeah, a lot more energy, and defending, like I said, hasn't changed. But yeah, hopefully this is like the turning point for Fulham. If they continue to play like this, I don't see them getting relegated.
Yeah, I agree. They're still bottom, despite this win, still bottom of the table, so they definitely have a long way to go.
Yeah.
To like be in a safe position, because they can get all the way up to like 14th and still be just like 1 game from the relegation, like 1 3-point loss.
Yeah.
From the relegation zone, so they have a little bit of a hole to climb out of. A good result for them at 3-2. I think Southampton will be really disappointed, though, with like the number of chances that they created against Fulham, like only getting the 2 or not getting at least 1 point out of this game, with just the 2 goals.
Yeah, I think Shane Long had like a really nice shot on goal, but I think it got saved by Fabrizio. I think that's what it's called. Fabrizio. I think he has the name shortened. Fabrizio, I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I have to double check, but that's what it is.
But yeah, I think I had picked against Fulham in our preview last week.
And I picked Fulham.
But like we didn't know that Claudio Ranieri was going to be coming in.
I was still
I would have taken, for the record, let the record show that I would have taken Fulham had I known Claudio Ranieri.
I was still balls deep into Fulham, so it's all good.
All right. A good result, and like you said, they need a run of these sort of results, especially like if you contrast this game with the loss to Cardiff that they had just before the international break. Like these are the type of games that they need to win to be safe. So
yeah, well, I think it's also a back line they should be scoring that many goals off of with Mitrovic, and like we were talking at lunch, like the longest crosses to someone, the 2 goals that he had, and then Schürrle too getting at the end of it. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Fulham for the rest of the year now, because I think this is the turning point. I feel in my balls.
Okay.
Who do they play next, actually?
I do not know. Let's find out. Table. Go to the bottom of the table. Fulham. December. Can you believe the end of the week is December? They play Chelsea next, so RIP.
Oh, it does. Well, they got still good.
Chelsea, Leicester, or United.
Well, they have a chance against United, so.
Hey.
Let's keep moving, young man. Tottenham, Chelsea. Tottenham won 3-1 with goals opening up by good old Dele Alli Good old dick pic Daly Alley in the 8th minute. Then a goal followed by Harry Kane in the 16th minute. And then, how do you say Son's full name? Human Son?
Yeah.
Okay, because the Son's not, like, they don't pronounce it at the beginning, right?
I don't know. I've heard it both ways. I've heard
Son
Human and Human Son.
Human Son.
I don't know. I
Son
don't know which way it's supposed to be.
scored in the 54th minute. Oh, I was asking about the order of the, because I know they don't pronounce.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think the Vietnamese don't pronounce that way too, or they do like the last names first.
Okay.
And then a goal in the 85th minute by Olivier got your head Giroud to give Chelsea some morale, I guess. Possession. Tottenham possessed the ball 40% of the time to Chelsea 60. 18 shots with 9 on target for Tottenham. 13 shots with 2 on goal for Chelsea. Woohoo! Foyth had the beginning of the game scare on Hazard. Do you think that was a penalty?
I think it was.
Okay.
I
It was a little rough. It was a little rough.
Replaying it in my head really quick there for a second, but yeah, I do think it actually was a penalty. Should have been and it was like it proved. Well, go ahead. You're still working through like the
My notes. Oh, I mean, you go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say like it was that moment I think was really important for this game just because like Tottenham went 2-0 up like
Right after that.
60 to 90 seconds after that. So like it was one of those decisions where like could have been a huge difference in the game if I mean the way that Tottenham played, I think Tottenham would have still gone on to win this game. But like it definitely would have changed the dynamic of the game if it's 1-1 right there instead of 2-0 like a minute later.
Yeah, I wrote down that Tottenham probably could have won 5-0 after that point. Because there were 2 other chances where they should have put it away. I forgot who. I think it was Harry Kane had a cross and we just gutted it, dude. It was just nowhere to be found. And the other one, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Dele Alli. Yeah, I think it was. It was like a cross
Probably,
yeah, or something like that, where he had a shot where it just went wide. But yeah, great performance by Spurs. It was the first time probably in a while they scored more than 1 goal, I think.
Yeah, for maybe almost a month at this point. I know they had a 2-1 win against someone like Brighton.
And then the 3 goals against United. So good. I think that's like this is the first performance in a while since they've scored more than 2.
Beginning of the month they scored 3 on Wolves. It was 3-2 win on to Wolves.
But yeah, a great win for them. Poor defending by Chelsea. Continued to play that same back line with Rudiger and David Luiz. It seems like they're not. That's not the best pairing against top 6 opponents, I guess, in a way.
The way that David Luiz played in this game, like, they might as well have had a traffic cone.
Yeah.
David Luiz in this game played like how I've expected David Luiz to play this whole season.
Yeah, he was just like chasing the ball.
Yeah.
It was just insane. I was just like, what is going on? And then shout out to Son's goal. Probably
that goal.
It's like up there for a goal of the year.
Probably
honestly.
just for like all the individual work that he did there.
Just like beating
Torch Jorginho.
Jorginho, he was like, fuck Italy. Sorry to curse it, but I was like, oh my god. That's like in my head I was like, that's what he probably said. And like just took off. And I was just like, oh my god, he's gonna beat him, and then just murders David Luiz. Is like, nah, son, and then finishes. Is like that goal, stupendous,
really
bro.
Nice. It was really nice. I still put the Sturridge goal in the Liverpool Chelsea game above it, but
definitely top. This is gonna be top 5.
It's early.
Top 5, easy.
It's early.
It'll last top 5 for me.
It's early.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
All right, we got Arsenal, Bournemouth. Gotta change the days. Give me a sec. Nope. Here we go. Bournemouth won. Or no, Bournemouth did not win. Sorry. Arsenal won 2-1 with a own goal by Jefferson Lerma in the 30th minute. And then a goal followed to equalize in the 46th minute right before half with Joshua King. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting the game winner in the 67th minute. Jesus.
Words.
41% possession to Bournemouth with 59 going to Arsenal. 11 shots with 5 on target for Bournemouth. 20 shots with 4 on goal for Arsenal. Very, very sloppy Bournemouth. Very sloppy.
It was very sloppy on both sides.
Well, I think more sloppy. I think they're fortunate to have it just be 2-1. I think it could have been worse. Again, with the United playing the ball out of the back for some reason, they were just getting caught and just counterattacked, and obviously Arsenal didn't finish, and that's why they're probably you can say that they were sloppy, but very fortunate to have the result to not be worse than what it was, honestly. But regardless, the goal for Bournemouth was very nice to watch because it was an involvement of everyone, I believe. Started with Wilson on the left, and it went all the way around from Brooks to King. And then Brooks almost scored another goal too. That guy's been kind of hot-ish. But yeah, I think for where they are on the table, they probably have one of my favorite attacking fronts, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But Arsenal did get out of this game alive somehow. When they probably should have won the game by more goals, but they still were fortunate enough to walk away with the 3 points.
Yeah, this is Arsenal's first win in the league since they beat Leicester on October 22nd. So they've had they drew Crystal Palace, drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace, drew 1-1 with Liverpool, 1-1 with Wolves, and now they get this win more than a month later now. So they keep their streak. They have a pretty long streak of unbeaten games. Probably since the loss to Chelsea in the beginning of the year. I think they lost to City in the opening day, and then Chelsea the week after, and then I don't think they've lost since then. So they're keeping that kind of string of results going. But they were very wasteful, only getting the 4 shots on target from all the turnovers that Bournemouth were creating.
They even got lucky with just the own goal too, honestly.
Yeah. Sure. Could have very easily been 1-1 the way it kind of everything panned
for
out.
Bournemouth, Lerma would have been the actual difference in this game because he gave up that goal, and then actually no, the Aubameyang goal he wasn't had in no part of that, but still he would have been the difference because then he also had a shot where it was almost on target. But
yeah, yep. For Bournemouth,
unfortunate for Bournemouth.
I guess they've kind of had now a string. I'm gonna look up real quick what their last few games were, because I feel like I've picked Bournemouth the last few weeks and it's just not been happening. So they lost to Newcastle last week and to United. So this is their third straight 2-1 loss. So definitely not where they want to be at the moment, especially with them sitting at the bottom or towards the out of Europe now. That's what I meant to say.
Bottom. They had a good start to the season. The problem is this past month, and hopefully it doesn't drag them down because it's a smaller club that's been exciting to watch in the Premier League. And like I said, Joshua King, Callum Wilson, Brooks now coming on the scene, and Fraser. It's a very entertaining attack.
Yeah, it is.
They just need to clean up the back line, I guess. You have Nathan Ake, who's one of the young up and coming center backs in the Premier League. But yeah, the Fraser, I think it was Fraser that gave up the ball right there, and then ended up Lerma. Unfortunately, was in a bad spot. So no, you couldn't really done.
So maybe I guess
Francis.
This is kind of a
Francis.
revert to form for Bournemouth, where they're gonna kind of settle into that solidly mid-table kind of groove.
Yeah, hopefully they don't drop anymore. Yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah,
we got Wolves versus Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield Town won 2-0 with 2 goals by the Aussie Aaron Mui. When the goal in the 6th minute and the 74th minute. 45 shots, 45% possession going to Wolves with 12 shots and 3 on target. 55% possession for Huddersfield with 14 shots, 6 on goal. A very surprising performance for Huddersfield, honestly, for me. Good on them. The almost goal they had called for Wolves, which is kind of the chaotic kind of Wolves way we've been noticing. And unfortunately not going in the back of the net at times. But this is the movie we'd been kind of looking for since the beginning of the season, since last year, I guess. But yeah, I can't really say much more, I guess, in a way. Just a really poor performance by Wolves, and they've having not a stretch of this, but the consistency hasn't been the same since the beginning of the season.
I think they've been unable to find the back of the net with the same consistency that they were early in the year. Because there was, really early in the season, there was talk of, like, with the way they were playing, like, could Wolves push for a European spot? Like, they were playing that well at the beginning of the season, and then now they've had a whole big string of results against middle to bottom teams where they just, like, can't seem to find the back of the net. So that, I guess, that kind of continues for them. And I'm sure that's something that they'll, like, work the kinks out a little bit, like, over the next few weeks, but hopefully anyway for them. This was a really good result for Huddersfield to kind of drag them out of the relegation zone.
Well, hopefully.
Because they're now sitting on 10 points, so they got a few teams below them.
Also, it's been kind of interesting because how their performances against the bottom end, but against the top 6, they've only had, like, the bad game or the loss against Spurs. That's kind of like the X.
And even that was a game that they should have won. I think they should have won.
But, like, draw at Old Trafford, draw against City, those kind of games. I think it was a draw against Liverpool, right? Didn't they play Liverpool already?
I don't think they drew Liverpool. I think that they still have to play Liverpool, wherever Wolves are on this list. Here we go.
Jacob was double checking for us.
The loss to Spurs, they drew Arsenal.
There, okay. Yeah. There it goes. But yeah, so they've been decent against, or more than decent against top 6 opponents for someone that's in their position.
Yeah, they have 3 points. Like, for a newly promoted team to have, like, 3 points from 4 games on like the big teams, that's pretty good. And arguably, like, should have maybe been more.
Yeah. Just depending on if it went their way.
So it could be just one of those things that, like, they continue to struggle against teams that don't attack them the way that a big team attacks them. Like, they don't want to be the ones with possession, or, like, want to be the ones, like, with the onus on them to, like, go attack.
But you would think too, like, they would have the better midfield out of the bottom end teams too as well. But it's just kind of surprising, I guess.
I just think that they need to set up just a second way of playing. Like, they always go with this 3-4-3. We were talking about this before we started recording. And, like, the style that they have with it works when they are the ones sitting back and absorbing pressure. But, like, you're right. They do, the way that everyone's been playing this year, especially in the midfield, they have the team and the roster to push the bottom teams, like, to become that team that, like, puts all the pressure on and, like, play effectively that way. I believe that they have those players, but, like, they don't want to play that way, and so they struggle against these middle to bottom teams.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens. We got Burnley, Newcastle United, 2-1 to Newcastle with a own goal opened up by good old Burnley by Ben Mee in the 4th minute. Then a goal by Syrian Clark, I think that's how you say his first name, in the 23rd minute. And then Sammy Vokes with a good old Burnley goal, Jesus, in the 40th minute. We got 56% possession to Burnley to Newcastle's 44, 14 shots with 4 on target for Burnley, 17 shots with 3 on goal for Newcastle. A very lucky goal I think they got in the beginning of the game for Newcastle with the own goal. An own goal is always a lucky goal. I mean, let's be honest. And then a great cross to Clark to get that goal as well. I think this is what Newcastle needs now to start to happen, where you're not just relying on your front four and you're getting or capitalizing on set pieces like they've done, because there's just a team that doesn't have as much quality as some other teams, obviously. But yeah, my favorite goal of the week, good old Vokes goal from a midway, like you said, midfield cross to the edge of the box, and somehow got that ball.
It was like a 40, 50-yard ball
over
the top
the
of the box, and then Sam Vokes headed it into the left side of the net. It's pretty crazy.
But yeah, good win for Newcastle. I don't know where they are sitting on the table now.
I think they're also chilling near that bottom, like just out of relegation.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, they're only 3 points off the relegation zone.
And it wasn't that long ago where they were at the very bottom. So I think it's a turning around for them, and hopefully they keep going forward. I don't know. We'll find out who they play next, I guess. Who is West Ham? So that's a capable game for them. But yeah, that's all I really have to say for them. I'm really glad that they're starting to rack up 3 points against teams they probably should be getting 3 points against, even though I feel sorry for Burnley, but it is what it is when you play long balls like that. But still, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Newcastle probably should have had at least one more. I think it was a fair result though. But like, if you replace the own goal with the miss, who was it that missed at the back post?
Richie.
Oh yeah, Matt Ritchie. So like, if you swap like those two, then like 2-1's probably a fair result, just given like the run of the game. And yeah, good result for Newcastle. Burnley need to start figuring some things out because like they're creeping down. They were like pretty decently mid-table last season, and now they're like creeping towards that. Like they're only 1 point off the relegation zone now. So, and Christmas coming up, and we always say like the team that's bottom on Christmas has never not been relegated. So.
Yeah,
you guys better hurry up. Get off the bottom before Christmas. You got less than a
month. Jeez. So let's go into stats, and then we'll go into the next week. Goals. Sergio Aguero is tied with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with 8 goals.
That name gets you every time.
Yeah. Pierre-Emerick
Aubameyang.
Well, just like
there's not an E there's not an E sound at the end of it.
Well, I don't care because I say it like Juan Pierre.
Yeah, but you didn't. You said Pierre.
Did I?
Yeah, you've said it literally every week. This is just the first time I've ever said anything to you.
Oh, jeez. I don't care.
Pierre.
I don't know. I don't care. Screw you. Eden Hazard with 7 goals, right behind him in third. Ryan Fraser is leading the league with assists. Sergio Aguero continues to lead the league with shots with 55. Idrissa Gueye continues to lead the league with 59 tackles, with again the same 2 guys behind him, Aaron Wan-Bissaka with 49 and Mohad Diame with 44. Emerick Laporte continues to lead the league with clean sheets with 8. Joe Hart, big old Joey Hart, is leading the league in saves with the 54. Club-wise, City leads the league with 11 wins. Right behind them is Liverpool and Spurs with 10 losses. Cardiff, unfortunately, leads with 9. City continues to lead the league with 255 shots. Huddersfield Town leads the league with 264 tackles, with the West Ham right behind them with just one behind them with 263. Crystal Palace leads the league with is in third with 247, and Chelsea is smashing the passes with 9,255 in first, and long ball champions of 2018 at least is Burnley with 980. Yeah, Huddersfield Town's not that far behind.
Catching up. All those balls into Glen Murray.
Yep, this is true. Huddersfield, not Brighton.
Oh, I don't know why. Why do I always do that? Like, even when we were at lunch today, I thought of Huddersfield, and I was like, oh, Glen Murray. When you were asking me, like, oh, who else scored this week? It was Huddersfield that, like, triggered the Glen Murray thing. I know that he doesn't play for Huddersfield, but I don't know what it is that, like, triggers that for me.
You crazy. All right. So, that has been our review of last week. We are going to get into our previews for match day 14.
Bum, 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 bum.
The first game is actually a Friday game. It is Friday, November 30th at Cardiff City Stadium. We got 11 versus 19. Cardiff City versus Wolves. Who you got?
Wolves cannot continue to be getting results the way that they are. Like, at some point, they're going to need to start winning some games again. And Cardiff is the team to do it. They lost last week to Huddersfield. Cardiff lost 1-0 to Everton, right? I think it was Everton.
Yes.
So both of these teams coming off a loss. It is a home game for Cardiff, but Wolves are, as poorly as they seem to have been playing, or just like inefficiently as they've been playing against middle to bottom teams. Like, Wolves are the better team here, and Wolves should win this game.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wolves. Hopefully they might set up like we've talked in the preview or the review, maybe a little bit differently than they do against the top end opponents. just to offer them maybe some stability so they don't give up those kind of goals. But who knows what they're going to do. Honestly, they're probably going to set up the same. But unfortunately, if they do, hopefully they still get the 3 points. I'm going to go with Wolves too. Like I think I already said that.
You did.
78% going to Wolves, 6 going to a draw, 16 going to Cardiff. Let's keep moving. Selhurst Park, we got 16 versus 17, so a big game for the
Big
bottom
game at
end.
the bottom.
We got Crystal Palace versus Burnley. Who you got?
I'm tempted to go with a draw, but I think I'm actually going to go with Palace. I think Burnley have been struggling to do anything but lob the ball into Sam Vokes this season. I think Crystal Palace has a little bit more dynamic of an offense, especially when they're going to be up against kind of their own ilk. And they're at the bottom
Don't
of the
forget
table.
Tarkowski.
Oh, yeah, and Tarkowski. Excuse me. Yeah, for all those set pieces and corners. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Palace. I think as long as Zaha is playing, he's going to be the most dangerous person on the pitch. And I think that's going to give Palace an edge. And they're playing at home, so.
Yeah, it looks like Meyer is actually starting to really adapt into the Premier League now. But I don't know if that's going to be good enough for me, dog. You know why? Long balls, sir. We're going to see at least probably 40 long balls in this game. I'm seeing at least 2 of them go in the back of the net. One from your good old Sammy Vokes. And then probably Tarkowski.
Okay.
And
Sure.
we're going to see a brilliant goal from Wilfried Zaha, but it won't be enough because we're going to see a 2-1 Burnley for me.
Okay.
So,
Burnley, bold choice.
Crystal Palace One Football app does not agree with Crystal Palace leads with 67%, 9 going to a draw, 24 going to Burnley. You ready?
I'm ready.
Huddersfield Town, Brighton at John Smith Stadium. We got 12 versus 15. Another somewhat big game, I guess, for the bottom. Who you got?
I don't know about this game. I think I'm going to lean towards Huddersfield just because they're going to be coming off what's probably like their best performance in at least the last like a month with that win against Wolves. And this is a home game for them, right?
Yes.
Home game for
John
Huddersfield.
Smith.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to give Huddersfield the edge of this one.
I'm going to oppose your decision, sir, because we got the Viper, the champ of getting goals without you seeing him. Good old Glenn Murray, sir.
He's ridiculously overperforming.
Yeah, I don't care, but he's still going to get a goal in this game.
He's going to come back down to the average.
So we're going to get a 1-0 victory for Brighton because they're going to hold on. And One Football app agrees with me, sir. So
One Football is crazy.
58% going to Brighton, 11 to a draw, 31 going to Huddersfield Town. And that's fact, Jack.
Sure.
Jack.
I think Huddersfield deserve a little bit more respect than that in this game.
Nah, we're good. They're going to lose.
All right.
We are going to King Power Stadium. We got 9 versus 7. There's a trend.
Like
really
closely matched in the table, yeah.
Yeah. Leicester City versus Watford. Who you got?
I've picked Leicester the last few weeks, expecting them to kind of get it going. They're going to be without James Maddison this week due to diving suspension, of all things. Second yellow card, but get the second yellow card for diving. I'm actually going to go with Watford. I think if they can play anything like they played in the first half against Liverpool, they're going to give Leicester problems.
Yeah, I do too. Going through the middle for them, I don't think Leicester really has anything to offer for that to defending like the team like this. But Watford is the right word, susceptible to giving up susceptible. I can't talk. That word, say it.
No, you need to learn how to say it.
Can you just say it one more time?
Honestly, I already forgot the word is.
Susceptible. It's like Jesus. That word to counterattacks and
Susceptible.
There you go.
There's not a B or a P in the middle of it.
I don't care. Anyways,
It's SUS.
regardless, to counterattacks, just because the way they set up. But I'm still going to go with Watford. I believe in Watford. I don't like Leicester.
Do I need to bang my cup on the table too?
Yes, because I want Leicester to lose.
You want Leicester to lose? What did Leicester do to you?
They won the league.
Yikes. Hey,
But
they've won the league since you guys won the league.
yes.
More recently than you guys won the league. So you're going Watford.
Yeah, I'm going Watford.
Okay.
One football app does not agree with us. 9 to a draw.
Interesting that you're starting with the draw this time.
22 to Watford. 69 to Leicester City.
That's generous, to say the least.
That's more than generous, bro. Christmas came early. Oh, my goodness. All right. Next game, we possibly could have the slaughter of the week. We got Manchester City versus Bournemouth at the Etihad Stadium. We got 1 versus 8. Realistically, this is like 1 versus like 20. But who do you got?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to pick Manchester City in this game. I don't really know what I have to go off that with.
Oh, my God.
They have scored at least 4, it feels like, for like the last month. Like they have 4, a couple of 5s. They did have the 0-0 at Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
How many did we put on Spurs? So just 1, wasn't it? Oh, so maybe they haven't scored as many recently as I thought they had. As I thought they did. It feels like it though, because they've been tearing people apart, at least in the league, recently. So I'm gonna go with City. I don't think that Bournemouth are gonna be able to give us any trouble, and not gonna be able to hold us back defensively. And hopefully, what I'll be watching for in this game is like our defense not giving up very many chances to Bournemouth.
Well, I'm gonna go with City too because this is just an easy pick. Probably like 6-0, I feel maybe.
Yikes! No, we're not gonna get 6.
You're gonna get 6.
No.
Watch. Bournemouth has not been playing well. This is not the game they want to go into after the last 3 weeks, and
Oh my goodness, City equalized.
this is gonna
Sorry.
be very ugly, I feel. So going with City, like you.
Bold choice.
City, or the One Football app, agrees with both of us on this one. 2 to a draw.
Oh no.
8 to
Oh,
Bournemouth.
I was hoping it was gonna be higher than 90%.
90% going
Okay,
to
that's
City.
That's fair.
That-
Come
that-
at us, Liverpool. We're gonna get another 3 points. Come get us.
Christmas came early on for Bournemouth for that one, honestly.
Bournemouth, I think, have a really terrible run of games
Yes, I'm saying.
coming up. So
Yeah. I'm very unlucky. All right. We are going to St. James's Park, 13 versus 14. We got Newcastle United versus West Ham United. Who you got? I guess you buy your ticket.
Yep.
Are you on the A-list?
I am. I'm on the West Ham A list for the train that's bound for mid-table, I guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Hopefully.
go with West Ham. They are the better team, despite their results not necessarily showing it over the course of the season. Newcastle did get a big win against Burnley on Monday, but I still think that West Ham should have enough to put themselves over the line. I think this game could be like from a Newcastle point of view. This game could be the test to see if it's like a turning point for their season.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I don't agree with who your pick though,
Of course not.
cause wait, I'm checking to see what. Okay, so West Ham put an extra midfielder for you guys last week. They're not gonna do it this week.
It didn't help.
It didn't help, and they're probably gonna bring another they're probably gonna bring the extra midfielder up in this game, I feel. And it's probably gonna be the 4-1-4-2.
It's too many people.
No,
4-1-4-1.
4-1-4-1. Yeah, that one. And that's where the problem is gonna be. Good old, I think it's Rice, something like that. Reese Rice or something, some weird name. The Irishman, the unfortunate Irish victim in this game.
Thanks.
And we are going to see some undefensible or undefendable crosses to Rondon or Perez, and those are going to go to the back of the net, and we're going to see Newcastle prevail in this.
You're wrong, sir.
So I'm going to go with Newcastle. But the one football app agrees with you and not me.
That's right.
60% going to West Ham, and 7 going to a draw, 33 going to Newcastle.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We got Southampton versus Manchester United at St. Mary's. We got 7 versus 18. Who you got?
At some point this season, United have to beat someone that they're supposed to beat. So I'm going to go with United, even though I feel like they're a burning pile of trash at the moment.
Oh, because of our coach, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you were a burning pile of trash under Van Gaal.
Well, that
and
was
a
because
burning
of
pile
coach.
of trash under David Moyes. So
Were we burning pile of trash under Ferguson?
are you a Liverpool fan talking about your history again?
No, I'm saying were we a burning trash? Because some of those players were on those other teams.
Yeah, but the way that Ferguson played and got.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'm not really sure what you're going for there. Your team's trash. But you should be able to beat Southampton. Southampton
Okay.
have been struggling, maybe a little bit unlucky to not get at least a point against Fulham last week. But they've kind of been floundering at the bottom of the table. So, yeah, I'm going to go with United.
Yeah, I'm going to go to United too. We're just going to win 1-0.
1-0?
1-0 in the 89th minute probably by a goal from Rashford or something like that. No, Fellaini. There we go.
Wait, is this sorry, I meant
It's the same areas. But yeah, I think we're just gonna get by in this game, honestly. Like we aren't doing right now against Young Boys. 83% going to Manchester United, 4 going to a draw, 13 going to Southampton. That is what positions are they? 7 versus 18 in that one. All right, we got 3 more left, sir, and then we have international or your other games in Europe. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we got Chelsea versus Fulham. This is at Stamford Bridge. We got 4 versus 20. The trash London derby. Who you got?
I don't think Claudio Ranieri is going to be enough to. I don't think Claudio Ranieri is going to be enough to get them a win in this game. But Chelsea are coming off what's probably one of their worst performances for a while. They were completely pasted against Spurs. And I think that might show a blueprint to other teams as far as the way that they press specifically Jorginho in that game. And if David Luiz, hopefully for Chelsea's sake, David Luiz is swapped out for literally anyone.
Christensen.
Maybe Christensen. They let him out of his cage. I'm actually going to go. I haven't picked a draw. Neither one of us have picked a draw this whole time. I'm going to go for a draw in this game. I think that Fulham are still going to be riding kind of the boost of having Ranieri in. Ranieri is someone who is familiar, obviously playing these bigger teams with Leicester, and when they won the league. So I'm gonna go for a draw.
Okay. Well, I am not gonna go with the draw.
Okay, you're gonna go with Fulham. You can tell by the grin on your face.
Yes, I am gonna go with Fulham. I think yes, this is the blueprints last week to beat Chelsea. Ranieri knows those systems, not just in the Premier League, but knows the way Sarri runs. It's a very Italian kind of system. And Ranieri, what is he?
He's Italian, but I don't know that I would call Sarri's system a typical Italian system.
Well, I know, but a lot of Italian teams are doing that. United just scored, I know. Thank God. Oh, God.
It doesn't matter because Valencia were losing.
I know, but still, I didn't want to draw against Young Boys at Old Trafford.
Was it Lukaku?
Oh, I don't know. I just said we scored.
I'll look it up.
Regardless, I'm going to go with Fulham. Andre Schürrle is going to be the difference in this game in the goals. But I think it's going to be let's say 2-1. There's going to be a penalty on Hazard, and that's the way Chelsea scores.
Yikes, only penalty?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, One Football App does not agree with either of us because 11 going to Fulham, 3 to a draw, 86 going to Chelsea.
86 seems a little steep, especially coming off the way they played against Spurs. I think that's a little steep.
Well, are you here for the Chelsea?
No.
Okay, neither am I. Oh, right. We got a what game of the week?
I guess so.
All right, we got.
Who are we still missing on this? Oh, it must be Liverpool Arsenal.
No, it isn't.
Does I don't know.
We
I'm
got
not looking
the
at it right now. So.
North London Derby, sir.
Oh crap!
Yes, we got top 6 or top 5. 3 versus 5. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspurs at the Emirates. Who you got?
I am going to go with a draw in this game. I don't think that Tottenham are going to be able to outplay Arsenal to the level that they outplayed Chelsea. I think they had like a very specific game plan against Chelsea that worked for them. But I don't necessarily think that they're going to get that for was it Fellaini?
Yeah.
Of course it was.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
So I don't think that Arsenal is the sort of team that they're gonna like be able to play like that and get the result that they did against Chelsea. I think that like I said, they had a very specific plan against Chelsea that happened to work, and that was really the first time for a while that the Spurs offense has like really got going and was like that prolific in creating chances. I think they're gonna probably revert a little bit back, like somewhere in the middle between where they've been. And Arsenal are always very dangerous on the counterattack. So I think I'm going to go for a draw.
Okay.
And Arsenal haven't been beaten in like a really long time.
This is true. But I think this is like this would be like the best team in a while since Arsenal's also played. Just because they played Chelsea and City in the beginning of the year. Have they played Liverpool yet?
Yes, 1-1 draw.
That changed. No, well, it's not the Liverpool that we think it's Liverpool this year so far. But I'm gonna go with Tottenham. I think last week's win proved that they can perform in these kind of games, and Harry Kane hates Arsenal, and
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in Tottenham hates Arsenal.
no, but not Harry Kane especially, and I think Daddy Harry is going to get some goals in this game. And it's going to be classic North London derby, Harry Kane nicking like maybe even a hat trick, honestly.
Yikes. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to depend on the setup, but I'm going to go with Spurs on this one. I just feel them in balls.
What's crazy is that I think Spurs are having like their best ever start to a Premier League season, and like it still feels like they're underperforming.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe a good sign for them as far as like how they've like grown as a club, especially in the context of like the amount of like they had no signings this year, but still like are seemingly making progress. But I still think that I think this game's gonna turn out to be a draw.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with Spurs. You are in the lowest bracket of percentage. 54 going to Arsenal. 6 going to a draw, 40 going to Spurs.
I mean, the draw is almost always the lowest.
Yeah, but that's not. It's probably the most realistic though.
But who picks a draw?
You.
Yeah, that's why I say that's it. Just me.
Whatever. Anyways, last game of the week. Second biggest game, Merseyside derby. Oh. Oh, Merseyside.
Lots of derbies this week.
Yes. We got 2 versus 6, so another top 6. Team like 2 big games. Game at Anfield, Liverpool versus Everton. Who you got?
Hopefully these games are at different times so we can get to actually watch both of them. Like one earlier than the other.
One's at 6:05. One is at 8:15.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna go for a draw. Again, 3 consecutive games with a draw. Only because I need Liverpool to drop some points. So Everton, help me out. Everton have been playing a lot better over the last couple of months, especially compared to how they were playing in the beginning of the year. They kind of have everyone. Everyone is in right now. I think everyone's fit. Like Richarlison, Sigurdsson, Bernard, Walcott.
Tolson.
Yeah, all those guys. Yeah, Sink Tolson.
G-Sig Gabe.
As well. Yeah, so I think Liverpool, as we've talked about over the last few episodes, like Liverpool never really have seemed to hit their stride yet. And I think it being like, a big atmosphere for the Merseyside derby, I think Everton are going to have a little bit more energy. And I think that they're going to get themselves 1 point from this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a weird week where I don't pick a draw.
Did one draw last week.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think every week so far I've picked at least one draw.
Okay.
This week, I shall not meet that fate of picking a draw because I'm going with Liverpool in this one. Because I think this is where Mohamed Salah comes alive, and then also Liverpool gives Everton the reality check. Like, yo, this is top 6, dog. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
And yeah. I see Salah being the difference in this game. Off of like Mane's like crosses and stuff. Off Mane plays, and Firmino's gonna get one at the end.
I think Salah and Firmino are gonna just straight disappear. The Liverpool midfield has been overrated for a long time now, and still is overrated. And Sadio Mane is gonna try to do too much by himself. And Sigurdsson scores 1. And Virgil van Dijk scores 1 off of a set piece.
Well, it doesn't matter. Liverpool's going to win.
1
So,
draw.
82% going to Liverpool. 4 to a draw. 14 to Everton. And that is match day 14 for the English Premier League. Do we have any other big games?
Just one game.
Just one game?
There was another one that I almost wrote down that was Leipzig versus Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach.
But I don't think either one of us are really equipped to talk about either one of those two teams too much. So I was like, nah, we'll skip it.
Yeah.
Because that is 2 versus 4 in the Bundesliga. So a big game there. But the only game that I have written down here is Roma versus Inter Milan.
Oh, I wanted to just say Italy, and I was going to say, whoa, dude, AC Milan's playing Parma, bro. That's a big game. That was not.
That's like 5 versus 7 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever.
Parma's up there for being a recently promoted team. Correct?
I do not know.
Anyway,
I
Roma
opened up the
versus
wrong
Inter
game.
Milan at the I don't remember what Roma Stadium is called. Home game for Roma.
I think it's the Olimpico.
Okay. This is a Sunday game, I believe.
3 versus 7.
3 versus 7 for this one?
Yep.
Obviously, neither one of these teams, I think Inter expects to be kind of up by Juve, but like haven't been able to get the results. They got pasted. Wasn't it Inter that got pasted by Atalanta not too long ago?
Yes.
So yeah, they need to kind of recover from that result. And Roma lost last week to Udinese 1-0. So they're not getting their results. Too. Yeah, and they just it's Real Madrid, so so they not getting the results that they need either. So this is a kind of a big game for Roma to get themselves back towards the Champions League spots, and a big game for Inter not to like they're 9 points back right now in Serie A. So they definitely need to get points to keep up.
How many back are they from Napoli?
Just 1.
Okay.
So like both of them are pretty, and they're 4. Inter is 5 points above Lazio in 4th. So like both Napoli and Inter are like safely in Champions League, but like what are you even playing for at this point?
Yeah, you're basically paying for your Champions League spot. You're just trying to outlast Lazio and the other Milan.
So who you got in this game?
I'm gonna go with a draw.
Bum 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 bum. So them dropping points again.
So I called a draw then this week then.
Yeah, you did. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. All right, so you're going for a draw. Actually, I'm gonna go with Inter. Inter are even though like I personally like Roma better, I think Inter have a much better squad overall, especially like on the wings. And I think that as much as I like Edin Dzeko, like Mauro Icardi is a better striker than Edin Dzeko.
Well, Icardi's just a savage, but Dzeko is not been the Dzeko of the last couple of years too. Seems like
not necessarily this year.
Yeah,
he still had like almost 30 goals I think last year.
No, I meant like since this recent year.
Started.
Yeah, since the season started, he hasn't been the Dzeko of the past since he's moved to Roma.
So I'm gonna go with Inter. Roma just have been struggling. They missed a whole bunch. We had like you said, they just lost to Real Madrid. We had the Real Madrid Roma game on while we were recording here, and they just missed like point blank chance after point blank chance.
Yeah, they had a chance at the end of the half where they could have been up 1-0, but they whiffed.
So they've been pretty wasteful in front of goal over the last few weeks, and if that continues, I think Inter Milan are definitely going to win this game. So I'm going to go with Inter.
Okay. Well, One Full Wrap agrees with you with 55% going to Inter, 9 going to a draw, 36 going to Roma.
Okay.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we kind of it was international break. We decided to record only Jacob and me last week, so.
Bum, 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 bum.
Dun, 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 dun. Regardless, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the College Avenue channel and liking the video. And if you're listening to on the audio platforms on SoundCloud, please give us a heart, and hopefully you would love to follow us. And on the other platforms as well, subscribe on iTunes or Google Play and give us those 5 stars. Thanks very much. Thank you for listening. Other than that has been it. This was Across the Pond, where 2 American boys tell you about the worldwide world of soccer/football. I have been the host, Rich Radio, joined by the man with the noggin, Jacob Bullard. And we shall see you in the next episode of Across the Pond. Goodbye.